You're listening to Heritage Radio Network. HRN is food radio supported by you. Learn more at heritageradionetwork.org. This episode of Pizza Quest is brought to you by Central Milling, hand-selected grain, expertly milled for passionate bakers. Central Milling is the farmer, the miller, and the baker working together to preserve American farmland for tomorrow while providing the highest quality flour and grains for the bakers of today. Dating back over 150 years, Central Milling is built on generations of knowledge, and they know that premium flour starts at the source. Employee-owned, Central Milling works directly with their farmers to sustainably grow grains that have exceptional flavor, nutrient content, color, and baking performance, which results in one of the largest selections of premium specialty flour and grains in the country. Hand-selected for the highest baking qualities, milled, cracked, or blended slowly to minimize heat generation, then bake-tested for performance. Learn more about Central Milling and their products at centralmilling.com.
Hi, listeners. We wanted to let you know that Heritage Radio Network's Julia Child Fellowship application is now open. The fellowship offers an enriching experience for aspiring food writers and journalists who share our passion for food systems change. The fellowship is a great way to progress in the field of food journalism and digital media and will start in early January 2024. This fellowship will provide participants with hands-on experience, mentorship, and access to an extensive network of industry professionals. The application deadline is November 27, 2023. Check out heritageradionetwork.org and click on the Julia Child Foundation Writing Fellowship link to learn more. If you or someone you know has interest in food studies and journalism, this might be a great fit. Go to heritageradionetwork.org and check out the application today. Thank you.
I'm Peter Reinhard. Welcome to Pizza Quest. Coming to you from the Northeast Pizza, Pasta, and Artisan Baking Expo in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It's right now, this show is being recorded in early October, but I'm sitting with Francesco Marra, the partner and owner of Marra Forni Ovens, among other ventures. We're going to talk about some of those other ventures today. Francesco, welcome.
Thank you for inviting me, Peter. That's such a pleasure to be here with you, and just tell a little bit more about our journey here in the United States.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've been following you guys via the Pizza Expos for years when you first introduced the Marra Forni ovens and the brand name, but then also along the way, you started an educational division of the company, which is Pizza University? Is that what you call Pizza University?
Yeah.
And it's based essentially at your headquarters, which is in Maryland.
Yeah, everybody has a story, and we have ours. You know, we're a family that came here in 1995 out of coincidence. My mom got married, with an Italian that was teaching at the University of Maryland, and we ended up in Washington, D.C. But Marra Forni is, we have had many business since we came here. But Marra Forni is our baby. Is our last name is imprinted on our product.
That's right.
It's our legacy. The school, it's something that we started to write notes, in 2015, 2016, because we had so many people that were excited about our industry. There was an abundance of people that really were eager to start, but they didn't know how. And in our test kitchen, we had so many operators say, I want to open one store, two store. They had the meaning, they had the heritage that they wanted to support, and they had the finance, but they had no knowledge.
Uh-huh.
And so fast forward, 1 year, 2 years, they'll come back to us and say, I invested all my money. I should have listened to you. You were right. I didn't know any better. I closed my shop and I lost $1 million.
Oh, my gosh.
And so that was very, very touchy for us because as an immigrant, you come here, you start from zero, and it's really hard to make a year in the United States, and you don't wish anyone to go through any pain. And so we decided to say, okay, we got to do something. We have to open a school. And at the time, Tony was the only school open.
The one in San Francisco?
In San Francisco.
Yeah, Tony Gemignani School, yeah.
And of course, there were so many contributors like you and consultant and operators that they wanted to help other people, but they didn't really have a facility where you can come and have a full immersion and be in a comfort zone where you can actually learn. Most were restaurateurs that they were doing consulting on the side. So we decided to make an investment, and we created a school called Pizza University and Culinary Arts, and we started in 2018. It took us a couple years really to develop, the project, and then today, we have graduated over 350 students.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot of students. And some of them are professionals, but not all of them. They don't have to be a professional pizza operator to come to the school.
Yeah, and it's really the uniqueness of our audience. It's kind of very interesting. You have the chef that doesn't know anything about pizza, or wants to learn more about pizza.
Yeah.
You have the restaurateur that wants to open a pizza but doesn't know how, and you also have the second career, individual that it
Yes.
was maybe a firefighter, a policeman, a lawyer, an architect. That I've done. I retired, semi-retired. I done. My career, my first career. I'm tired to be behind the desk, or I'm tired to do what I'm doing. I want to do something that I love, and a lot of people love cooking.
Yeah.
So that's another part, and then you also have the home baker, the person that just wants to get better.
Yeah, we call them the enthusiasts,
Right.
the ones who love pizza and love baking. And
One person came to. I asked them, why you here? What is the purpose, being here? And one person told me, I just want to beat my brother. I want to be better than my brother. That was probably one of the funniest,
That's good.
response that I had.
wow. So and all this takes place not far from Baltimore. Is that where you're located?
So
And-
so we have two facility. We as a Marra Forni, we have grown a lot in the last 10 years to 12 years now that we're in business. So we have about 120,000 square foot, and we have a culinary center that is about 2,000 square foot right now. That is in Bellsville, which is right outside of DC, probably like a couple miles to the
Oh, so
to
it's
the
closer
border.
to DC than it is to Baltimore.
It's closer
Okay.
to DC.
I
Yeah.
see. Okay.
Yeah. And it's very easy, to come in. You can come through Baltimore. BWI is only like 25 minutes away, or you can come to DCA. So very easy to come in and out. If you want to come to our school, and we have had students coming from all over the world. As a matter of fact, from Russia, India, Canada, a lot of from Central America, South America, and of course, a big portion is United States,
Yeah.
East Coast, West Coast, and even Central America.
Well, of course, I'm looking forward to coming up and teaching at the school, which we're talking about putting the class together right now. It's still kind of in early development. So when by the time people hear this episode, which might air a few weeks after after this Pizza Expo is over, maybe we'll have a date and a theme and everything. But we're going to work on that after the expo and figure out when.
Yeah, I'm so excited at that, and thank you for really buying into this project. It's really hard to find instructors that love and have so much passion about pizza. Most of them are running a business. So,
Yes.
and when you come to do a class, the class is 3 days, but it's really 5 days that you need to be away from home, because
Yeah.
you need 1 day, 2 days to prep. And then you have the last days, and then some people decide to leave it the same day, or some people just stay and leave it the day after. So it's 5-6 days, and a lot of the instructors, they're also operator, and taking away 1 week, almost 1 week away from your business, it's not an easy thing.
That's
so
right, yeah.
I appreciate for you thinking of us and wanted to come to pass on all your knowledge and expertise.
But I think it's really important for a company that provides the tools to be successful to now provide the education to be successful, because like you said, not everybody knows what they're getting into, or they're already into it, but they don't know everything they need to know to capitalize on the investment that they've made in their company, whether it's the craft knowledge or the business So at Pizza University, you cover things that have to do with how to operate a business as well as how to make pizza.
Yeah, the fundamentals of pizza making. Obviously, we go into the theoretical and practical methods and techniques. We go into the selection of the ingredients. We go into the pre-ferment, the ferment, the different techniques, and then how to monitor your dough, and then we go to the executions, the topping, and the type of equipment you need to use. And also we do have some classes where we go really in depth with the business itself, how to starting to build your business plan, make sure that you have the right support and consultant. Choose your lawyers, your architect, your kitchen designers, to finding the right location with the right real estate brokers.
Yeah.
And then learn a little bit about the business, right? People. I always say to open a restaurant or pizzeria is probably one of the hardest job in the world, because you need to know the front of the house, the back of the house. You need to know all the requirements, and if it's your first time that you're doing it, you really want to, get the best consultant out there that can support you.
Well, we'll come back to talking about the school in a minute, but the other thing that people know you for, of course, is the Marra ovens, and that's a wood-fired oven. But you make other kinds of ovens too, right? Or you're involved in the production of like electric or gas-fired ovens?
Yeah, so when our background actually used to be in food distribution. We were 15 years in food distributions, and then our company was acquired by a large company now publicly traded called Chef Warehouse in 2014. And so, but right maybe like 4 or 5 years before, we started to import equipment from Italy, and that's when we really saw an opportunity on brick ovens. And the first brick oven were wood fired, and then we have evolved from. We have changed our name tag 3 times already. We went to wood fired, to brick oven, and now we do brick oven cooking solution. And now we're probably going to have to change again, because we don't do only brick ovens, we also do electric ovens, as you said.
Yes.
And so, but and for us it's extremely important. This is a legacy, is our last name, so
Yes.
it's our family, and we've done a phenomenal job. We were gone from 1,000 square foot to 120,000 square foot of manufacturing. We have 24 test kitchens in the United States, and we have about 240 salespeople on the road between the United States and Canada, and we also ship all over the world. We are in 24 countries, 5 continents, and we have a salesperson in Mexico and some inventory in Mexico City, and we also have some inventory in Dubai Free Zone, and we serve also the Middle East.
In the Middle East as well. So who are your, let's say just domestically here, who are your customers? Who are the people that are buying your ovens? Are they restaurant operators? Are they also home cooks? Are they the people who have home versions?
Everything that we do today, 99% is commercial. Residential we do only between friends and family. However, we are about to launch our residential division next year. We just got approved from UL, NSF. So we are converting our line also for residential use for outdoor and also indoor. So if you want to put a nice oven in your house, you'll be able to use our oven. For commercial, our clientele is very diversified. I mean, that's something that we done that I feel very proud that our company has done very well. Of course, pizza industry is one of our main category or sector, I would say. But we're also in college, university. We are in K-12s. We are in hospitals. We are in retirement home. We are in stadiums and entertainment, casino, hotels, restaurant group, you name it. We touch every industry.
It's interesting because I remember when I first made note of you at one of the pizza expos a number of years ago. There weren't that many companies doing brick ovens. It was kind of a new thing even to Americans, that brick oven pizza. There were very few of them, and now they're everywhere. But there were companies that already existed that sort of had. They were the early ones here, like Woodstone and our sponsor Forno Bravo, who I'm the most familiar with their ovens. And then all of a sudden, it felt to me like, oh, there's a new guy on the block, Forno Bravo. So what was it like, kind of breaking into that, and how did you differentiate yourself from the other ones that sort of had a head start here in the United States?
Yeah, It's an interesting question because when we came in, we knew we were from food distribution, so we knew how to distribute a product in the United States, but it was in food. It was not in equipment.
Yeah.
Equipment is completely
It's like
different world.
It's like hardware versus software.
Right, but the I think the driving force is the passion, the fact that it's part of our heritage and traditions, the ambition. Even though we're such a young company, I think we've grown a lot. The fact that we're so hungry to grow because we want our legacy really to be recognized, and we are so committed and devoted to support our industry, in particular the pizza industry, and we care a lot. We love. I consider all our clients partners, and I want to make sure that they succeed. And so we started very small, but then having the experience in business for so many years, we built a nice infrastructure, and we put all the human capital and assets that we needed. And then we started, learning the business, and today we control 99% of production. We have about 12 departments.
Is the production made here in the United States? You have your own production facility? It's not imported, huh?
Yeah, that's a very good question because people think that we are an Italian company, but we're not. We're actually an American company, Italian-inspired. We're made in Maryland. We're made in the United States.
So you make your own ovens in your facility?
Yes.
Yeah, wow, that's something, yeah.
That's the perception is because Marra Forni being ovens in Italian, that we're an Italian company.
Yeah, it sounds like an imported oven that's come to the United States, but it's really made here.
And at some point, I think we're probably going to change our name too because we're becoming so much more than just an oven company. As you know, we also do the venting, we do the exhaust fan, we do some ancillary items like prep tables, mixers, oven tools.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
These are things that you distribute, or do you actually produce and manufacture?
So we co-manufacture with partners in Italy. The venting and the exhaust fan comes from Germany, and the venting is co-fabricated here with a company, also German company. And we have all the tools. We are equipped with the most advanced tools. We have our venting specialist that can do the design of your run. In the house, we can do 2D and 3D provided to our customer, and we act as your PE, your professional engineer in this case, even though we cannot stamp the actual plan, but we can do the design for you and calculate the CFM.
So you're really full service. You're not just selling ovens anymore. You're providing consulting, planning ideas for. So if a restaurateur or a nursing home comes to you, I mean, when you said nursing home, a light went off for me because I hadn't even thought about that's a huge sector.
It's huge.
And growing.
Huge.
And if they're interested, if where my mother is staying, for instance, at a residential assisted living center, and they provide meals for everybody there, and there's a chef on staff, and if that chef had access to a brick oven, it makes his life kind of more fun too. But so how do you train them? Is that where the university comes in?
And that's actually the university. It's besides doing professional classes on a monthly basis, we also do customized classes for full service company. They come in, they train with us with 2-3 days on a specific style of pizza. We are a solution company, honestly. We're not only an equipment company.
I think that's a good name for the company. It's Marra Solutions.
Right. Yeah, that could be. That could be
if
the name.
You use that one. I want a little royalty on that when you use that name.
But the name tag is a brick oven cooking solution also because people think of a brick oven as a stereotype as a pizza oven. And one actually the hashtag is that I use when I do some posts is just not just a pizza oven company.
Yeah,
right?
That's good.
Because if you look at the history of pizza, and you can teach me as an expert in baking, really, bread is probably one of the first things that humankind, baked, and they needed an oven. And at the time, there was no all this technology, and so the oven that was used, it was a brick oven, it was a stone oven.
Right.
So One of the things that we really push forward as a family is the preservation and conservation of the Italian heritage. In this particular case, food equipment.
Yeah.
And so brick ovens, when it was imported here to United States, it was stereotyped, as a pizza oven because most of the Italians used to use it for making pizza.
Right.
And so now that there is that assumption that a brick oven it can be only used for pizza, but you can actually cook. We have
In fact, some
customers-
people have. I say, yeah, you have a brick oven or wood fired oven, and they go, well, I don't make pizza that often. I say, but you could use it for a whole lot of other things. Really? I didn't know that.
Right.
So
Yeah,
how do you? So you teach them all those?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we do. Also, in some of the classes is just open the chef mind that a brick oven is not just a pizza oven, and you can do baking, you can do roasting, you can do braising, you can do searing. We another methods that we're really big proponent is to sous vide to cast iron.
Sous vide?
Sous vide to
Really?
cast iron. So you sous vide your product.
Meaning under pressure, cooking under pressure.
Right.
Yeah.
Once it's sous vide, and then you just put your cast iron in the oven, and you let it, really get hot.
Yeah.
And then you sear it for a couple
Oh,
minutes.
yeah.
And you can cook a steak,
Oh, yeah.
8-ounce steaks in about 4 or 5 minutes.
Well, one of the best dishes I've ever had at a restaurant, one of our favorite restaurants in Boulder called Basta, is and everything that he serves there comes out of the wood fire, or out of his wood fired oven, and but he also loves sous vide, and so he makes a short rib dish where he cooks them for 72 hours under pressure, low temperature, under pressure, and then he embellishes the plate with some polenta and other things, and then when you order it, that short rib goes into the wood fire for a couple of 70 seconds. It gets this incredible crust, salt, pepper crust over the outside, and it comes out, and it is the most tender thing you ever ate, and the most delicious thing you ever ate.
I love this style of cooking just because with the sous vide you can guarantee the consistency, and by using our brick ovens you can give it a nice crispiness that you need on your your meat, on your fish.
Yes.
And then it's a very easy process. As a matter of fact, we have a customer that he was able to run the whole menu with our rotating deck, because as you know we also do rotating deck.
Oh no, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Where they one rotation they can cook the pizza and also the meat and the fish and even the breakfast.
Sweet. So and so do you like if they say, okay, I understand that you do this sous vide of cooking thing. Can you teach me how to do that? Is that something that you also can provide that kind of service?
So sous vide, we haven't really got into sous vide.
Because a few years ago, nobody knew about it. Then all of a sudden, modernist cuisine came along, and everybody knew about cooking under pressure.
Cuisine Solution is a company that we use as a partner. They're out of Virginia, but they just built a 400,000 square foot facility in Texas. Huge company, and we use their product. And sometimes our chef, they also make their own sous vide. But I like the method because it's quick, consistent, and it also gives you guarantees, the quality that our customer needs for you. Because as you know, in a restaurant, one of the hardest things to achieve is consistency.
Yes. Yeah, well, that's a challenge. Now, when you're talking about the ovens, it reminded me of a question I want to ask you. I've been told, and I never fully grasped this concept, that there are different kinds of brick ovens. Some are Naples style, some are maybe Tuscan style, that they have a different arch, they have a different ceiling height. Can you talk a little bit about the technical aspect of brick oven cooking?
Absolutely,
and what's appropriate?
It's that's an interesting question because I think we as a brick oven manufacturer, we haven't really reinvented how the oven is built.
Yeah.
What we have done different than any other manufacturer is that we have used some proprietary material to allow our oven to retain the heat. Because what we need to remember, one of the key ingredients in cooking is heat, right? Without heat. And sometimes customers, they look in oven and they think, oh, they're the same. But as a matter of fact, they're not. Right, because we use different material, we use different. We have studied how to retain the heat as much. You want to make sure that your brick oven retains as much heat as possible. So when you are busy and you are a rush hour, the oven can keep up with the cooking. The way that we build our oven, it starts really, when I'm building an oven, or when we're building ovens in our facility, for us, it's like building a home. It has to have a strong
Foundation first, yeah.
and then it has to have really good material to extend the longevity, and also has to retain the heat. That's why the refractory brick that we import from Italy, that they are stamped with our last name, and they are proprietary to us, are really the key to our success.
I see. So that's one of your differentiators.
One of the differentiators. Of course, some of the the secrets are the height of the ceiling, the width of the opening, because that I see some other manufacturers that have really big opening. They're great to look, but we have to remember that an oven has to preserve the heat. So the larger the opening is going to be, the more heat you're gonna lose.
Yeah, yeah. So
And
is that
then-
why you could, some of the ovens come like with a little attachment, that lowers the threshold of the opening?
Right. It's those are some. It's not everything. It's also the material that you use, the stone. Some like to use different stone for. In fact, some Napolitan manufacturer, they use this stone called Sorrento stone, right, which is part of the Napolitan tradition. We have decided instead to use a refractory brick for our deck. First of all, because it gives us a better results.
Yeah.
Secondly, is because we have never broken a deck since our company existence.
Oh.
Yeah, of course, with wear and tears.
Yeah.
If you're cooking, millions of pizza in 10 years, most likely you're going to have some brick that you have to change. But we don't have the same issue as Napolitan manufacturers. That you have to change the deck every 2-3 years.
Because your bricks are more durable.
It's more durable, and it's less fragile.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cracks. And also, what we need to remember is that when these ovens were made in Italy, in Naples in particular, they were made to be on site. They were never made to be traveling thousands and thousands of miles.
Yeah, and usually they're built on site.
Right.
Yeah.
And so sometimes these ovens, they come here in the United States and they already have a crack,
Yeah.
deck.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do unless the manufacturer comes here and start to change the deck, which is very costly.
Well, let's say I'm a restaurant owner. I own multiple restaurants, and I'm getting ready to open 2 restaurants right across the street from each other. And one is going to be pizzas only, and the other is going to be everything out of the brick oven, but it's not going to be pizza themed. It's going to be everything from roast and chicken and whatever could be cooked in brick ovens, which means pretty much you can cook anything in a brick oven. But I wanted would I want a different oven for each of those locations, and what would be different about those ovens?
So if you're one of the key ingredients, as I said before, is heat.
Heat.
All right? And so if you're cooking a Napolitan style pizza, you're cooking at 900 Fahrenheit. Can you do other style of cooking? Yes, you can, but you got to be really quick and fast.
Yeah.
Okay. We recommend in this case to have 2 ovens, and one of the versatility also our ovens, and I'm happy that you're touching that point, that some of these Napolitan ovens you can only cook pizza. Right, so you only, you have one real estate space that is occupied just for pizza. The good things about our ovens, because we use this refractory brick, you have a versatility in cooking, which means not only you can cook pizza, you can do anything.
You can do so it's kind of an all-purpose oven.
Right.
But what would be different in the ones that are just for pizza only? What would be different about that oven? Would it be the ceiling height and the door opening, or are there other differences between them?
In particular, our oven?
No, in general, like just the first general, then yours.
I mean, you have some competitor that they use mold to build their walls, and we use brick by brick process. Some of the difference they're going to be definitely the height. It really depends what is the outcome of a manufacturer is trying to achieve.
And I'm just trying to understand and the function of the oven. Whether a higher dome is better than a lower dome for pizza or for other things?
Lower dome, depending on the style of pizza that you're making. If you are a New York style pizza and you're trying to have as much heat as possible, a lower dome is going to be probably better off for you.
Okay.
If you're cooking, maybe like a New York style pizza where you need to be about 550 to 650 Fahrenheit. Maybe the height of the dome is not going to make as much difference.
I see. Yeah, because essentially the heat's all going to rise to the top, so the dome's going to be hotter than the deck.
Right. So the and some company have infrared heat under the deck.
Yeah, right.
Right.
To keep the deck steady.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And some company use even some coils, electrical coils, to keep the heat. Because we have this particular stone that really can gain that heat and retain the heat. We can do it just with our burner. And one of the differentiators also for our manufacturer and others is that we do not use atmospheric burner. We use forced air technology. And forced air technology basically mixes the gas and then basically starts the fire and it basically pushes the heat very uniform.
Oh.
So you have a very even cooking.
Interesting. So for people who are listening who don't have a brick oven or a wood-fired oven, but they're thinking about getting one, and they want to know a little bit about how to use it. What do they like? For instance, what's the function of the wood? Does the wood have to be creating both smoke and flame, or and what about smoke in the oven? Is that an important thing? Because I've heard different things. One of them being that the smoke is going to rise above the pizza anyway, so you don't want. It's not about the smoke; it's about the heat.
Yeah, see, so if you're talking to a traditionalist, he's going to tell you that wood is going to make a huge impact on your cooking. I'm of the opinion that if you're cooking in 90 seconds, in particular pizza, Napolitan style, even Neapolitan, maybe 2 minutes, 2 minutes and a half, you're not going to get that much flavor in your food, honestly. If you're braising and roasting and you're cooking for 2 hours, then the flavor of wood is really going to penetrate your product because it's been cooking for so long. Where I think the wood is very important in a restaurant is the fact that once a client comes into your locations and he smells a nice odor of your wood, the senses of the individual are going to spark, and then the perception is going to be, wow, it smells so good, I got to buy something that comes out of that oven. So that's really the key.
That's interesting.
Of having a little bit of wood in your, and all our equipment is wood and gas assist approved because it's a different certification.
So, because more and more people are wanting to use the gas assist because wood is becoming sort of under scrutiny by the government because of pollution concerns and things like that.
Exactly. And what I always tell our customers, like, gas, it's a must. Wood is for flavoring. Just use a couple log of wood just for flavor, not to cook, right? But now, as you know, what's really trendy is electric because of the electrification of kitchens in the United States. There is about 12 states right now in the United States, predominantly blue states, that they want to be all electric by 2050 because of the issue of pollution, and they want to be carbon free.
Yeah. Well, let's say you do have a wood-fired oven, and you're burning wood already, or you want to burn wood. Can you put into your ventilation system a way to filter out whatever the negative emissions are that the government's concerned about to make it acceptable?
There are definitely equipment that you can use on your roof to purify all the soot and help with having a more sustainable energy and make sure that you can have that cleanness that you need, because most of these restaurants, they are in a very busy areas, and they're residential that you need to respect.
That's true, yeah.
And you got to make sure that you have a clean exhaust.
Do you see an increase in sales in the residential sector in wood burning ovens? Is that still growing, or brick ovens, whether they're burning wood or not?
Through COVID, people have really learned how to cook more at home because they had all that free time, and
that's right.
And the fact that you had to be close in a small 400 square foot condo has really pushed people to start to maybe make a move to live outside of the city, have a nice backyards, and put a brick ovens or just a small oven so they can do some of their own cooking because they were forced. They couldn't go to a restaurant.
But they want to now more and more. I'm seeing people want to build those ovens in their house, not just outside. They want to have it built into their living room or dining room or something.
Smaller percentage, I think they're using it in the house. I mean, it is one of our goal to push forward and let the people understand that a brick oven can go also inside of your home safely. but the majority today are really doing outdoor cooking, and they're using either professional ovens like ours
Yeah.
or small one, that they're a little bit more economical. They can still do the job.
Yeah.
I call them, a toy because they're fun.
Yeah.
You can cook, but you cannot have a perfect cooking or great executions
Sure.
with those small ovens.
Well, before we run out of time, let me let's remind everybody, if they want more information, how they can reach Marra Forni Solutions, and
Marra Solutions.
Marra Solutions. There you go. And where do they go? What the website is?
So we two website, Marra, www.marraforni.com.
Marra with two
is
Rs.
Two R's. And then for the training and education and vocational school is www.pizzauniversity.org.
.org. Okay, so because that's a nonprofit part of your business. It's educational anyway.
It's education and training, and we are it's an LLC right now, but we are in the process to convert into a 501c.
A 501c, yeah.
So it's going to be a non-profit because honestly, we don't do it for profit.
It's not your commerce site. It's really your educational
the
site.
goal is really to create an ecosystem. So we people can benefit and prosper for education and training and continue to grow. So the entire industry can benefit and can prosper.
So
together.
all the contact information to get to Marra Forni or to get to you is on the site. Go to the website, either one.
On all our social media platform, Facebook, Instagrams.
And if you're listening and interested in the classes that are being offered and the schedule of classes, so you've had some great instructors. So the cream of the crop of the pizza work community and the.
So we have one class. We just did one class with the Laura Myers and Leah Scorto for Women in Pizza.
The Women in Pizza sector is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
We want more women in our industry for sure. We are in the days of diversity and inclusions and equity, and we got to make sure that even this industry we bring more women because
it's happening.
It's happening.
Yeah,
it's a good movement. And then the next class is with Leo Spizzieri.
Leo Spizzieri is a longtime friend of Pizza Quest. We've been on many times, and
then
fabulous educator.
Then we have Giulio Adriani following, and then we have Scott Wieners, John Arena, and Jonathan Goldsmith. But I think Jonathan cannot come, so I think Giulio is going to substitute. And then we're planning for 2024, and we're going to have Peter.
So exactly what I was going to say. If you're interested in, check the website. Hopefully, by then we'll have our class figured out what date, and look into that and other classes and think about coming. People come for more than one class. No one class covers everything. It's a really different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, that's the beauty. Is like each instructor has their own style. They have their own content. They have their own style of teaching. They bring different perspective. And so we have some students that they like to come to one class, and then you'll see them, coming back.
I was going to ask if you have any regulars. There's some people who just love classes. They don't even want to. They barely cook at home. They just love the classes. It's kind of like watching Food Network, but in person. And most cooking schools usually have a 3 or 4 or 5 regulars who doesn't matter who's teaching. They just want to be there and see it happen.
It's the biggest compliment is I've learned more in the last 3 days that I did in 30 years being in business. And so to have the pleasure to work with experienced people like you and be with them for 24 hours, 3 days.
Yeah.
That's the amount of of information and educations that travels. It's amazing. I tell all our students, write as many notes as possible because we're smart and we can absorb a lot of information, but we're also
it's
kind of
like going to fantasy camp for pizza freaks, to come to one of these classes.
Yeah, it's a great experience. I enjoy it very much. I'm very passionate. I love to hear when some of the students go out to open the first store, they open the second one, the third one, the fourth one. Then we know that we have been part of that, of that journey, and we have done our job, and we have contributed to the well-being of humankind.
Well, Francesco Marra, thank you so much for being on Pizza Quest, for sharing your knowledge, and for again being a supporter of these events, and now especially for developing the educational side to go along with your products. So
And
we
much
appreciate all that.
more to come, I would
Yeah,
say.
and stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
For Marra Vorney Solutions, which
yeah.
which is a big word that can cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, no, thank you for inviting me. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate for thinking of me, for being here and tell our story, part of our story. There's so much more to say, but I'm looking forward, to work with you at Pizza University and Culinary Art, and maybe even more.
Looking forward to it as well. And as soon as we get a break in the recordings today, I'm going to come over to your booth here at the expo and see what's coming out of the ovens.
Absolutely, we want you. We want to feed you with some great pizza made by our instructors and by our pizzaiolo, and come by so we can feed you.
Beautiful, Francesco. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here, and thank all of you for listening to Pizza Quest. Join us again next week for another episode, and tell your friends. See you soon.
Pizza Quest is powered by Simplecast. Thanks for listening to Heritage Radio Network, food radio supported by you. Keep in touch at heritageradionetwork.org/subscribe.